So just doing a little bit of masking here on some of the silver pieces. There are some additional parts of his kind of armor that are kind of integrated in the belt and around his sort of back area, and they're all kind of silver. So I'm going to be doing my version. I'm going to be using actually aluminum, my trusty Vallejo aluminum in these areas, and I've just been masking them. This one doesn't need masking at all. It's all that aluminum color. These little dots on the center of this are actually going to be red, so I'll clean those off kind of at the end of the process and add in some red paint there. But it can all go silver for now, and then this piece is on his back. It kind of goes underneath. There's a belt part that goes here, and then this will kind of sit on top of it. And this belt piece with the little rivets there, that is also this armor plating color. I don't think it's not Beskar, but it's pretty similar color. So that's what I'll be using there. And then that also, this piece is the same kind of color as well, and so I'll be painting it at the same time. That actually, they have a sticker for that. Of course, I'm not going to be using a sticker here, but that's the piece they want you to kind of apply on top of there. And so I'll be just taping this off and painting it this color. So there you can see the kind of color that they're wanting, which will be a really close match for my aluminum. So, aluminum parts out of the booth, and yeah, really happy with how those turned out. I think that's the right, pretty great match. So those are those guys. So I've got lots of different bits and pieces in various states of. Actually, that's one thing we should do. Here, it doesn't take long. In fact, it's better to remove this mask kind of as quickly as we can. I don't want to leave this actually any longer than we have to, so I'm going to actually, even though it's pretty fresh, shouldn't matter. And let's just take that liquid mask off of here and see. Yeah, that looks great. That turned out perfect. So you can see we've got our nice line along there. Just a little bit here. I just think I've got a little bit. Oh, there's still a little bit of my mask there. There we go. So that's perfect, because we remember we know that we went right down against that line because we used the kind of the toothpick to go along there. So do this here. So I'm just going to come in here, top. Kind of lay it, the top part, there is a little ridge that will be coming down to, so I'm just going to add just like that. You see how it's kind of coming and settling down onto that, into that ridge. So that's kind of what we want it to do. It's just a matter of putting kind of a good amount in there so that it kind of can go down a little bit. You don't want too much though. You don't want it to overflow, or a little pooling spot there at the bottom. So, next night, this had a chance to sort of dry. You can see that I did just go around after late last night. I kind of just went that one. And I just sort of went around the edge, just along here like this. And so that's how I was able to clean up and make sure we had really nice sharp lines all the way around each of those, and so I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. So, just working on the Darksaber here a bit. Have been really working on some fairly finicky tape. Zoom up there a bit. So the way that it works, there's actually some rings of gray. So I've got the black already on the hilt here, and there are these kind of rings, as I say, of dark gray, and they actually also some stripes that come out, and you can see where those are as well. And those will need to be gray as well. So that's what I've kind of got set up. And so yeah, so just a really finicky little bit of work here right now, but it'll be worth it once I lay down. This is the gray I'm going to put down, and it should just be a nice contrast on the black that we've got here, and we'll kind of just see what we end up with. So just like the other time, I want to make sure that we get our liquid mask off there as quick as we can, so this isn't too long after, and then that way it doesn't have a chance to kind of it can kind of like get ingrained into I've had that happen, and where it just doesn't really come off properly, so really important. One that went on the other gold clip piece there, so we've got our, there we go. So now we've got both of our golds, the black, and then the nice brown there as well. So that's the black gunmetal on most of it. So I'm really, really happy with that. I think it looks awesome. That's again using that new gold. This, I'd never used it before. The True Metal AK450. In this case, that's the gold. So another great AK product there. Yeah, really a fan of that. I mean, it's beautiful. We also have the actual rifle out of the paint booth as well. So we got the brown. We got the brown there. So I guess we might as well kind of unwrap this guy too. That paint will be largely good enough to remove here now. So. So just to give you a sense, that's that. So it looks really, really nice. It's again a very subtle shade, that brown wood color. It's going to darken up just a little bit, especially once I get the semi on it. But yeah, it's just exactly what I wanted. Really, really happy with just all of the different results here in the various different colors. I think it's just really looks pretty authentic. So happy with that. And then the companion piece, so the rifle, of course, is the little pistol, and has the same brown as we have there on the handle. So I should take that off as well to see how that's coming along, because we've got, it's got all its gunmetal and the silver at the muzzle, and so it's done, I think, actually, too. So. There. That looks really great. Very, very happy with that. Again, really authentic looking. That is pretty much exactly what it looks like. I'm looking right at the reference right now, and it's pretty close. Depending on the lighting, the gunmetal can look kind of a bit shiny, shinier maybe. But I do have a little bit of shine going there as well. I've got that aluminum mixed in with the black there, so definitely getting a bit. And if I shined a bright enough light on that, I think I'd get the exact same effect there. really, really happy on the muzzle. How I've got the bands there of the silver, I think is really, that's exactly how it is. And it took a little extra work, but well worth it to get that differentiation so that it's not all just one metallic there. And yeah, so and then I of course have the Darksaber that went in earlier, and I have my gray there, so I guess that's the next little piece that we can have a look at here and just see where we ended up at this point. This one's a little more, not sure what to expect here. This was, as you recall, a lot of very finicky work here, so let's hope that that worked out. Takes forever to put that stuff on. And then 3 seconds later, it's all off. Really loving that, though. It's just great. So really well worth all that effort to get those kind of exacting lines and just that look. There we go. That is looking really great. Yeah, love it. Yeah, so just working on the next coat. I've already got this guy second coat done here, so it's coming along pretty nice. I might even take a third coat. It is pretty, you know, that black primer is pretty noticeable. Now, the one thing to consider, though, is that if you look at the reference, it's not like that's a bright yellow. I mean, it is kind of, and so it's kind of got that weathered. The black undercoat does kind of give it a certain authentic patina there, that it's, you know, not pitch yellow. So I think I'm actually getting close here. We'll see as we go along here whether I want to get a little bit more in here or not. Oops. So just tonight, working more on the hands. The gloves, you can see after several coats, I'm actually pretty happy with the sort of yellow-orange finger pieces. And so what I'm doing now is just taping off the little sort of, I guess it's a pentagon, but no, that's not a pentagon. What is that? 6 sides, I guess, because there's actually these two. I have to kind of, they're not much of an angle, but I do have to add extra pieces of tape, of course, just on these 2 angles here. So yeah, I guess it's a hexagon. Anyway, and then that'll be painted with my that version of the wooden deck tan. It's actually going to be a mix. As with most of these, I'll be kind of mixing my own color, but it's going to be this one mostly 90%. I'll be adding just 1% of the flat black, and then maybe a teensy, like just on the tip of a toothpick, a little bit of the clear red as well. And then that'll give me the color for this back of the hand. And then after I've laid that down, then and that's dry, then I'll lay down the tape and tape off the little, you can see there's a little triangle there as well. And that'll get a light blue, which I'll be using a whitened down version of this light blue. So that's the plan there. Okay, so the back of the hands here have had a chance to dry up pretty good. So a couple of hours later, I think I'm just going to unwrap them and just have a look at how that went. That'll get us ready here for, well, number one, seeing how it worked, but number two, putting on the blue triangles, which will be kind of the next step here. Lovely. They all turned out really, really good. I say tiny bit of overspray in a couple of cases, but it's easy enough to just use kind of a dull toothpick and just gently. You know, it's not a terribly abrasive thing at all. It's just kind of gently, and you're just kind of taking off like top layer paint, and especially if you do it pretty quickly. There we go. Beautiful. Flat.
What I'm going to do is just use a little pin. Let me just move that up just a little bit for you there. So just a pinhead, I'm hoping, will be enough for me to be able to get a little bit of paint in there. Pretty tricky. Extremely small, but hoping. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Nice. So I'm going to just let that dry for a bit, and then I'll essentially do the same thing on the other side. I think that worked. That worked great. Hey guys, so just did a little bit more taping here, getting these the gloves or the back of the hands ready with the for the blue paint. So I just did the easy part, taping off the triangle, and then I'm just gonna didn't take long at all, and pretty straightforward. I am spending some extra care just making sure that these are really tight tape. I don't want those to be really sharp lines, so spending that time making sure of that several times now. Yeah, just easier to keep checking now than to. I mean, I could always fix it, I guess, but I'd rather not have to do that. So next day here, just let these blue guys actually dry overnight. So I'm just gonna have a look to see how that turned out. Hopefully, well, let's have a look here. This was the, as you recall, the kind of last step on the gloves. The back of the gloves have a little bit of a blue triangle like that. So yeah, that turned out really great. So very happy with that. Looks really nice, and love the yellow. I think turned out just right. Just overall, really thrilled with those hands. I think I already mentioned. Well, I'm sure I have. There was decals I could have used there, but I kind of just like number one. Those are stickers, and they, potentially could come up. I mean, they're probably fine, and I'm sure they've been tested, but plus I just kind of like the look. There's a certain, I don't know, just certain look to having that painted that appeals to me. So, as I think I mentioned already, I'm just going to do a little bit of polishing. As you can see, I did spray yesterday with the gloss coat on the sort of T, the helmet black T. It looks pretty good, but I actually got just a little bit of just a little bit of orange peeling going on there. It was just my air. I think I had was blowing a little too high PSI, and I thought it might settle down, and it did a little bit. But it's I think I can just polish that and make it just a little bit better. So I've got just a couple of polishing compounds here. I'm just going to use a coarse one first. Okay, guys. So as you might recall, I did some initial polishing on the visor, the black part of the visor, and I was just working on it a bit more. I realized that it still had just a little bit of some imperfection still on the vertical. So what I did, I just finished that up actually, and I didn't record it, but you can see I did shine it up a bit more and just level that out. Really just a process of I just went in with some 2000, real gentle, wetted. I just have some water here, and was able. That was the main grit for just taking down those little ridges that were still left, and then just worked that, and then went to 3000, and then to 5000, and then went with the coarse, and just worked that in. And then up to the fine, and then I've just been finishing up, and I was actually just going to do one more little coat. So I'm just going to do that here right now. We don't need a lot of this; you just need a little bit, and we'll just see if we can get even just a little bit more shine out of that. And I'm not applying a ton of pressure here either, so I mean, there's not much risk in getting, burning through the clear coat here. I think we're fine. If it did happen, we'd suddenly see a dull spot, and we'd just start from scratch. Just relay down the clear coat if we did burn through. So I think that's looking really good. This one I think is okay back here. I don't think it's going to be that visible. What I'll do is cut it like that, and then just to remove this little piece of excess here like that. There. So that goes on the leg. Let me just grab that leg. I just had this, just painted this, put a layer of dull coat over all the various pieces, except of course where I had any kind of silver or anything like that, but all the basic pieces have been just had a nice dull coat put on. I'm going to be doing a little bit of lighter pastel work over this so that I can get a little bit of texture, a little bit of depth on this fabric areas, but I'll be doing that in a little bit here, but I need that. So anyway, this little piece though will be coming in right underneath here. So that's how it sits. Like that. And then, so they want me to bring that down across it. And then, of course, then this piece, the 39, actually comes in behind it. So it's complete. It's kind of this band. If you look, there's a band all the way around, and they want it to continue up over here. And then I can easily do the one around the back. That's no problem. And I think I can do this one too. I'll just kind of tape off, each of these little guys. Just tape them top and bottom. It'll take a little bit of time, but not too bad. And then I should just be able to spray down the opening down the middle with that sort of dark brown. And then, I'll just have this taped off as well. I'll just do that band. Yeah, so this will be no problem. So, just another lots of... I guess there was no way to use any kind of undergates on the Beskar spear here. So that's just something we got to deal with here. So I'm going to do the same thing very gently. Very gently try to as close as possible. There. So you can see just the smallest, pretty small little tab there. It's not too bad. There. So again, not too bad. Hey guys, so just tonight, as you know, I've been kind of looking at how to kind of work around some of the stickers here. I'm okay. I did use one of the belt buckles. I'll probably use the other belt buckle as well. That it looked okay. In this, I have not done anything on. What I've decided to do, and what I'm doing, is I actually created my own Decal version of this set. It might look great because you got to think silver is going to come through there, which is that is the base color underneath there. That's what's been kind of melted or scarred here, and so it might look great. And that's why I do have this one. That's my go-to. This is certainly the one I'm going to try first on this piece of armor. And then, depending on how it looks, if it doesn't come out well, if it's just not looking good, then I'll of course remove that, and we'll go to the white version. So yeah, you'll see where we end up. I do have to put these in the paint booth here. Obviously, there's a Decal solution that I'll put over top of these to kind of seal them down, so that they're ready to have a Decal. That's the liquid Decal film. So I'll just I have a video on how to do this if if you end up doing a similar thing, and I'll kind of have a link kind of posted up here where you might be able, if you're interested, you can see how I apply this and how they work. So I have my Decal sheet out of the paint booth and have let it dry for about half an hour. So just I've kind of been just looking at this next day, and although it's okay, I'm just not entirely thrilled with the edges that I got here, and I just feel like I want to give it another try. So I'm going to remove this. So I'm just going to grab some tape here. Alright, so I'm just going to remove it here. So, all set to try the next Decal here. As you recall, I did, it's a slightly different version now. We have the kind of wider edge. And we're just going to see that should give me just slightly better and fuller coverage. That's what I'm hoping. I just think that might look slightly better, so we're going to give it a try here. And it's still not big enough. It's close, but you can see it's not quite long enough there, and was short here, and most importantly was still plenty short actually on this side here. And so I've actually going to give it one more try. What the heck? Doesn't take a lot of time. What I've done is modify the Decal even a little bit further and extend it out. That line, doubled it, so you can see. It's now, and I just used my Krell draw, just a kind of cloning tool going around the edge. So I'm going to just give my next sort of iteration of the right thigh Decal another shot here. So I've got a little bit bigger version. So they have lots of room, hopefully, for that to kind of fit on there nicely and have enough overlap. I really do want it to kind of fit nicely over like that. So first thing I'm going to do, as usual, just get a little bit of my micro set going here. I've already cleaned it with this as well. It says Decal remover as well, but it's nice to, now that I've got it kind of all cleaned up and dried, and I used some demineralized water as well to clean that off. And so now it's good to just get this on here. So the Decal will have a good chance of setting down nicely for us here. Gonna bring it in just like that. I'm just looking to see, okay, that's my spot right there, okay. So then bringing it up like that. And then just letting it kind of come down onto those, which is just where we wanted it. It's looking great so far. You know, got quite a lot of overlap, and I'm just keeping an eye because it's like it really does shrink up. So you know, just keep an eye here. Micro solution, and this is the one that'll actually kind of it's the one that sort of melts it down a bit, or just causes the Decal to kind of, you know, go into all the crevices and kind of form fit. So it really softens the Decal.